So I received a request for how to draw the head from a three-quarter view. So here we go. I like to start with today with a pencil, held this way, just to start discussing a few ways of drawing, a few techniques. So we start with blocking in the volume of the head, right, as we always done, with this time with a very loose way. See how soft it gets, right? Meaning this kind of an approximative volume. It's not too precise on purpose, because I'm just kind of exploring options. So here now I'm going to block in this is the cranial volume, this is the face, right, the facial volume, and after that I'm going to think, okay, this is going to be the center line. It goes through the forehead, center of forehead, and the nose, and the middle of the mouth, right? So this is a time-honored method. It's nothing new, but basically what it is draw the cranial volume, draw a line that represents the center of the face, right? And then you add the facial mask. You put the ears, you put the position of the eyes, the position of the nose, brow ridge, and then you block in your face very, very quickly, right? So just visualize, if you like, the position, the idea, the proportion, etc. So we go back now to our three-quarter view of the head, right? So once I visualize this cranial volume and facial volume, I want to see now if I have the proportion right. So I'm going to move the back of the head. Remember, the back of the head is at the level of also of the nose, right? So I'm going to start imagining a turning form here. So I bring this forward from the back of the head to the front. So this should be a third of the total height. So maybe it is a little bit too short. See that? I can already see. I'm going to fix it later. 1, 2, 3. It's a little bit too short. So I'm going to put it here, right? And then see what happens. So this is going to be the facial mask, the facial volume. That's the jawline, right? And this is the center line. So now I clean up a little bit all these lines, and I start putting my facial features. The nose is going to be here, more or less at the lower third, right? The eyes are going to be, the pupils are going to be about at just above the line of the midpoint, the horizontal midpoint, just above this line here, right? So I'm going to put them here and here, right? And the brow ridge is going to be over that, right? So the nose, remember the nasion is going to start a little bit above the iris. The nose is going to come down forward diagonally like this. See, later I'm going to already change the position of the eyes as I need to, right? So the nose is going to be here, right? The mouth is going to be here. And now I can block in the planes of the head, the frontal plane, right? Coming down from the brow ridge here. Now I am on the side. From the side I go down like this, and I had now front plane, top plane, side plane. I want to be gradually more and more specific now. So I look at this form and I say, okay, now instead of having a big old round head, like it looks like it's been inflated like a soccer ball, I'm going to carve out now the specific planes, right? So let's see if I can do it with a different color. So I have the brow ridge coming forward like this, right? Changing angle a little bit here, see that? The glabella here, this is the glabella area, and the nasion in here, right? The brow ridge in here. I'm going to keep it very schematic, it's just the planes. But as I introduce the planes, I want to keep in mind that the planes I want to connect the value, the local value, with the planes. As the plane changes, the angle of the plane toward the light changes, the value will change, right? So let's connect value with form, with structure. So here I'm going to block in the the eyes, right? 1 and 2 here, right? And so I'm going to draw a little bit of a bigger ball because then I want to put in I want to keep it spherical, I want to keep it simple, right? So like draw the sphere of the eyeball more or less, and around it I'm going to draw the eyelids, right? Change of plane in here, right? So this is going to be a change of plane, right? We got these pickup trucks that they look like tanks. You hear them in the background? The guys, they like to soup them up, and they're like, "Rrr." Anyway. So, so this is the side of the nose, right? And here I'm going to have another change of angle. See that I want to consider these changes of planes as I proceed. All this side plane here is going to have a specific value, but I want to, so I can draw this first as a flat plane all over here like this, but later I want to be more specific, and there is here. See if it's visible here, right? See a change of angle from this to this. See that? All this forming here, see the space in here? That's going to be filled in with the mastoid, I'm sorry, with the masseter, right? So it's going to be filled in with the masseter in here, and here is the temporalis muscle. So I'm going to have a change of angle between here, this, to this. What happening here, at the zygomatic arch, I have light. I have a lighter area. So if I have a lighter area here, the zygomatic arch is going to be here, right? The change of the zygomatic arch. So we're going to have a change of plane from this to this. Therefore, this area here below the zygomatic arch will move in like this and typically be darker if the light comes from above. This area in here instead tends to gradually move out like this and peaks here at basically at the level of the base of the orbit. And so I have a lighter area here that extend from this point in here to this point in here, front and then side, right? So I can see in all these planes, right? This plane in here, this plane in here, right? This plane in here, and so on. So now, another change here at the nose, down at the nose in here, right? And then this area here will tend to be much more complex, but for now, we leave it alone. I want to just keep the an eye on the essential planes of the head, okay? So now the eyelids are going to be over a spherical form. So when you draw the sphere of the eyeball, you want to consider how the light will behave on a sphere, right? Oh, this guy got really scary eyes. Let me change it. Really scary eye, right? So that's the effect of adrenaline on people. When you get a shot, your eyes shut out, are open like this, right? So this guy instead is calm. He just drank a chamomile, and he's just relaxed. So his eyes are going to be much more sleepy, right? Or relaxed, or resigned. Look like resigned guys here, like that, right? So, all right, so same thing in here, right? So I want to think about how is the light behaving on this form here. So here, shaded, because this form is oriented now this way, right? But here, this form comes forward, so this area here is going to be light, and so on. You can see what I'm getting with this, right? Right here, out, then down, and then under. Therefore, this form here is going to be dark because it moves away from the light, and so on, right? So this is going to be now the upper lip, lower lip, and I can start carving out a little bit more planes here. So let's see, from this point in here, the zygomatic arch, I want to aim for the chin, right here. And from this point in here up the zygomatic arc, there's going to be another change of plane, which is typically given by the masseter, right? This plane here given by the masseter, right? So I have plane like this, another plane like this. So I start carving all these planes out, right? And the nose, I'm going to see the bottom part of the nose, typically the wings of the nose. The tip of the nose. So all these are all changes of plane that will produce different values, right? So again, associate the tonal characteristic of your drawing with the structural characteristic of your drawing. Okay, so now this goes back. At this point in here, I have the zygomatic bone coming forward, down, in, now it depends how much body fat you have. This profile will have a more angular characteristic, right? If you have a little bit more body fat, it's going to tend to be smoother, right? Whatever the characteristic of your subject are going to be. Down here and here, you're going to have the nasolabial furrow, which is a furrow. It's a fold in the face, right? And from here, the corner of the mouth, down diagonally like that, I have two other little wrinkles like this. So the upper part of the lips, the upper lips, I'm sorry, is going to be moving away from the light, right? So it's going to be dark. This portion in here, instead of coming forward, it's going to be light. This portion in here below, we're seeing the pillars of the mouth here, is going to move in, under. Therefore, it's going to be darker. And note now the big difference between person to person, where you have this forming here, the spacing here can be bigger, can be narrower, very sharp, very soft, but it typically recedes as the lip protrudes. This portion moves back like this. So this portion here, you're going to have typically shadow here, and then the chin moves forward and then catches light, right? And this moves down, therefore it's going to be dark, all right? So I have so let me finish here a little bit. So now I start with this very rounded form, see that? And then gradually I'm going to carve out more and more of these planes that I see in the face. And a lot of these planes could be also the physical characteristic, but typically the most minute ones. The big ones, the big planes, are going to be very similar for pretty much most of the people, right? So now here, instead of having this rounded form, I'm going to make it slightly more angular, right? Find out the specific bumps of, in this case, the frontal eminence, the temporal region here, right? And now when I have the face in a three-quarter kind of view like this, typically the ear from here, so the ear, remember, goes from the brow ridge in term of size, right? The brow ridge in here to the base of the nose or the base of the skull. It might be protruding a little bit past the back of the head, right? So depending on how much the head is turned, right? So this was Bilbo asked about a head seen in a three-quarter view. So I hope this kind of helps, answer your questions. And clearly, you can always look up the book. I have chapters with the head and the neck, right, where you can see all these measurements, all these exercises, planes in front, side, 3/4, exercises with planes of the head, mannequin, skeleton, etc. And most of all, anatomy, where muscles are both in a front, side, and 3/4 view. So I hope this answered your question, and please let me know if you have, if anybody has more questions or things that you would like to see. I'll do my best to help you out with the drawing, with the demo.